I want to talk about self-criticism, but also how it could help you, but also how it could destroy you, or how it can prevent you from moving forward. So I want to talk about self-criticism in a frame that doesn't limit you or doesn't make you overthink your flaws and mistakes, and being self-critical to the point that you're not getting paralyzed by overanalyzing yourself, your thoughts, your mistakes, your failures, your flaws. So how to be constructive with self-criticism. This is the example. The easiest way to expose yourself and your thoughts and your ability to make logical sense, and how, in terms of how you express yourself and how coherent you are, and also how empathetic you are, all these humane things, it's you like you have to understand that at some point in life you have to expose yourself to your weaknesses. So especially when people don't understand you, especially then, if you feel like people don't make sense of you, or they have trouble understanding you, or yeah, you feel isolated from people, or you feel, yeah, just basically you feel like people don't understand you, you gotta expose this weakness in yourself. So the best way to expose this is actually through writing. It's funny, but when you write out your thoughts, or you write about a specific, I'm not talking about writing like academical writing. I'm not talking about writing about any school project or that kind of stuff, or mathematics, or literature, or something like that sort of nature. I'm talking about like writing your raw thoughts, writing how you feel, writing maybe like trying to analyze your thoughts, like psychological writing. If that's even a term, I don't know. But back to the point, you have to expose yourself, and through like you have to expose yourself through healthy self-criticism. So for example, one thing I exposed today for myself is that, I knew this trait in myself, that this is kind of a my weakness. My weakness is like I'm not able to think logically sometimes. It sounds funny, but um, I really notice this in myself sometimes, that I'm not a logical person, because I have friends who are much more logical than I am sometimes. I'm more of a reckless person, so to speak. I'm more of a like fuck it, let's do it sort of person. So yeah, logic sometimes disappears in the background for me. So this is something I want to work on in myself. So this needs a certain amount of self-criticism. So what I am doing is I am writing in form of like newsletters. So I'm writing like newsletters, YouTube scripts, and I'm talking about my own interests. So I'm always trying to learn new things, learn about my own interests. And that's a good way to expose yourself. And when I explain something in my writing, when I learn about something, I'm getting to a point here. Hear me out. When you learn something new and you want to teach it to someone who doesn't know about the topic like zero. Like, for example, I learn something new. I want to teach it teach it to someone who doesn't know anything about what I just learned. So let's say, for example, I learned about like how to eat healthy and train efficiently so you don't get injured. Okay, so let's say the other person doesn't know how to do that. So now I have to explain in a logical way how to do that, like how to eat in a healthy way and how to train without injuring yourself. That's just an example, but maybe a little bit complex example. But yeah, the point I'm making is um, when I write, I have to explain things in a logical way, so that the other person who is reading what I wrote understands it thoroughly. So it has to like have a my writing has to have a logical structure in a sense, and that's what I'm struggling with like very often, because I don't know why. That's where the self-criticism comes in. Today I noticed that I was writing about like this like kind of philosophical topic. It is about like um, not how but why. It's like how people make sense of their experiences and doing things like having a strong desire behind doing things, and like it's pretty it's not that complicated to explain, but I'll explain it later. um, anyway, my point is that I spotted a thing in my writing. I mean, usually when I write out a draft, then I make edits. And today when I edited my newsletter, I managed to change it to a more logical. I managed to write out a more logical structure to it. So that was that was rewarding for me. So like, and that's what I'm talking about. That's like a healthy self-criticism. You expose yourself through understanding your own mistakes in a way. Of course, you could like uh, have another person review your performance or your work or your fucking, like, you can cook a meal and let the other person review it, or criticize your cooking skills, or you could write something and have another person read it and ask and you can ask their opinion about it about you can ask their opinion about your writing. You see, you understand my point. um, the thing is, if you want to expose yourself in a healthy way, I think writing is a cool way to actually expose yourself. Like, of course, this requires a bit of like studying and learning. But let's say you'll like. I'm assuming if you're watching this video, if anyone's watching this video, I'm assuming if you're watching this video, then you already are interested in something. You're interested in some topics, some certain topics. So let's say you take a topic you're interested in, and then you learn about it, you learn about the topic you're interested in, and then you try to explain it briefly, like you try to write about it in a logical sense. in a logical way, excuse me. You try to write about it in a logical way. And the thing is, um, what I have to do is, and what most people online have to do who are creators and stuff, like they have to hook the reader, and they have to present a problem, they have to present the maybe some pain points, some obstacles, they have to present a solution, they have to present the benefits, like to keep the reader engaged in a sense. So yeah, and that's kind of like that's actually like hard hard to do sometimes. So that's why you have to make logical sense in your writing. You have to be like persuasive. So persuasive, logical, and of course the bonus, you write because you want to get better at writing, the same way as I want to become a better speaker through making these videos. And yeah, I think that's the thing I wanted to talk about today. Like healthy amount of self-criticism, an easy way to start applying a healthy amount of self-criticism to your day is like start from journaling. Start journaling, start analyzing your thoughts, start analyzing how you think, um, learn about something new, try to explain it in your own words. Try to explain it like you're explaining something to a 5-year-old. That's a good point, by the way. If you can't explain it to a 5-year-old, then you have some work to do. If you're not clear in your explanations or expressions, like I'm really bad at this. Don't get me wrong. I'm not the right person to maybe teach you this, because I have trouble also. I also have trouble expressing myself and explaining things in a logical way, and my speech is still really choppy, and I have to think really hard before I say something. So yeah, hope you learned something from this video. Be self-critical, but do it in a healthy way. Cheers, and I'll see you tomorrow.